Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Candid Conversations. Today, conversing with me will be Kweku Reed, and he'll be talking about life insurance. And then we're going to have an entertainer you will never guess. I'm actually going to be having a one-on-one with Mikey Mercer. And then we're going to have a roundtable discussion. We will have Dr. Denise J. Charles, along with Janelle and Billboard Morel. They're going to be talking about marriage and how do we keep that spark alive. Interesting topics, my friends, so just stay tuned for another exciting time.
Hi Barbados, this is Edwin Yearwood. We, like the rest of the world, have been dealing with the deadly effects of COVID-19.
Recently, we received 100,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which could help put us back on the road to recovery. But how do we get the vaccine to those who need or want the dose? The government of Barbados, in the first wave, is offering the vaccine to those between the ages of 18 and 70 who suffer from the chronic illnesses like diabetes or hypertension, as underlying conditions like these make people more vulnerable to the virus. If you fall into this category, take careful note of the following information. These 4 numbers have been dedicated to take WhatsApp messages only. The numbers are Flow 2808222 and 2818222. Digicel 8501869 and 8511869. Landline 8507171. When you call the landline, you will hear a message prompting you to leave the requested information. No one will answer. Remember, these numbers will not be answered as regular phone calls, so please be sure to send a text or voice message indicating you wish to receive the vaccination. Include your name, age, address, national registration number, and a working phone number where you can be reached. Be sure to state any chronic illnesses you suffer from and the name of your doctor or the polyclinic you attend. You may also email the information to vaccine18-69@barbados.gov.bb.
We can beat this, Barbados. Together, we can beat this.
Going up? Sorry, miss. You can go up on the mask before you can get in the bus. That's the rules we gotta follow.
Man, I rushed out the house this morning and forget the mask. Plus, I don't like them because they must make me for real choke up and I just get up the road there. I ain't going too far. I can get off just now.
I can respect that, but I can't let you on the bus unless you go on the mask. The same way we take your life seriously by following the road safety rules, we also take the COVID-19 protocol seriously in order to protect ourselves and the other passengers. And all the passengers on the bus need to follow the COVID-19 protocols when taking public transport. So before you leave home, you have to make sure you have a mask. We can't afford to let our guards don't know.
All right, I'm gonna get the mask, man. Thanks.
All right. Going up?
Uh-huh.
All right. Moms, before you get on, you gotta pull the mask above your nose.
For sure, I forget that.
All right. Get up good, moms. Get up good.
Morning. Morning.
All right, rolling.
And welcome to another session of Candid Conversations with me, your host, Reverend Erma. With me today, we have Kweku Reed, yes. And he is the president of Barif. Yes. Yes. And we will be talking about insurance, the importance of insurance, life insurance. When I think of insurance, my background is always, you need Jesus in your life. And maybe that is cliche, and so everybody needs to know that yes, we need Jesus in our life. But when we look at the actual life that we're living, there are a number of things which are very important, which become very important to people. And one of the things that everybody seems to want to sell you is life insurance. What is life insurance?
Life insurance, in a nutshell, is an instrument that we use to make sure that you have some funds leaving back for your family in the future. Life insurance, the way it operates as an instrument, you put some money aside so that when you do pass away, because we all pass away at some point in time, and money is paid out to your beneficiaries, or money is paid out to someone or some company or something like that. Yeah, it's either paid out upon death or at a specific time. Because you could have life insurance that's up until age 65, or for a couple of years, and the amount is paid out at that point in time.
Okay, so it only is paid out at death, or it's...
So you have different types of life insurance. You have one type. There are three main types of life insurance. There's the whole life insurance policy. Whole life insurance is paid out upon death.
Yes.
Right? There's a endowment type life insurance policy, which is paid out for a specific time. So an endowment, you can have an endowment for, say, 25 years, or you can have an endowment till age 65 or age 70 or so.
Okay.
And it is paid out when it matures, or when it matures in the 25 years, or it matures at age 65.
Okay.
And the amount is paid out to the insured, to you.
To the insured.
Yes.
Okay, that really gives us an option. So
it's not only upon
it's
death,
not only upon death.
as most people would think. It's either it's dependent on the type of policy.
But it's important for us to really make sure that our relatives have something after we leave.
Yes,
right?
it's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So you would say that life insurance is something that everybody should have?
I would say life insurance is something that everyone should have. And the key about insurance is that not everyone can get it.
Not everyone can get it?
Not everyone can get life insurance.
And why would that be?
Life insurance is based on life. So if your life is not in the perfect shape in terms of health-wise, it would determine how much life insurance you could get, or if you can get any life insurance at all, or it could determine the cost of the life insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing
So
about life
I
insurance,
have to be healthy in order to get life insurance.
to a certain, you have to be healthy to get certain types of life insurance. There are some types of life insurance you might hear on cable, where anyone can get life insurance, even if you're old, even if you're 60, 65, even if you are not in good health, that you can get life insurance. But the thing is, the limit is limited.
It's limited.
It's not as much as if you were in good health.
Okay.
Because you appreciate that if you're in good health, the way how life insurance works, we know that we are gearing for you to live up to a certain lifetime. Right? As we know here on Earth, the lifespan right now is about 78. I recently heard something today that in Barbados, the lifespan is even longer.
It's even longer than that.
Than that, yes. But obviously, if the lifespan is longer, then we anticipate that most persons will live up to a ripe old age of
80,
80 and beyond.
And beyond,
Yeah.
and still in their right minds.
Correct.
And
And in Barbados, you could see that we have a lot of centurions. So in Barbados,
That
you
is
could
true.
see that you're living up to past 100.
Okay. So the thing behind life insurance is that it's paid out generally for whoever you've left it to.
Correct.
That, I guess, will help to go along with taking care of certain responsibilities when death comes, or if sickness comes. Well, when death comes,
Correct.
so that people don't have to struggle. So that's one of the reasons that you have life
Yes.
insurance?
So one of the reasons you have life insurance is make sure that you don't leave any burdens, any financial burdens towards anyone.
Okay.
For instance, you may probably might not have gotten your mortgages yet, but you have your family. And you're renting, you have some bills, you're paying a student loan, you're helping your family to, make sure that they have a lifestyle that you want them to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if financially you're not able to do it right away, life insurance is an avenue where you put a small amount every month towards that coverage financially for them in the future.
Okay, so we need always to try to be our brothers and sisters keepers.
Yes.
I was going through my Bible, and Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 22 tells me that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Yes.
but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. I'm not going to do the exegesis on that passage, but I'm just going to say that we are encouraged to prepare for the inevitable.
That's correct.
And in preparing for the inevitable, make sure that we are not left unaware, no one to take care of us or nothing to have, we need to have those things in place.
Yes.
And one of the ways that we can deal with that is to get life insurance.
Yeah.
And when we are choosing this policy, what are some of the things that we need to consider?
Two things, well, there are a few things you want to consider when you're choosing life insurance. First, you want to consider what your goals and dreams are in life. Depending on your goals and dreams, it may determine the type of life insurance you need to get, the amount of life insurance you need. Say, for instance, you plan not to buy any home. You're comfortable living with your parents. You're comfortable, you know that your parents have left a lifestyle for you. They've left a home for you. You're not looking for a home. But you know there will come a time when your parents may not be there. You need to afford to maintain that home. You need to afford to pay the bills, the utilities. You need to make sure that money is coming in for you, even if you're not working. And there are two ways you will start working. If you're not able to work, if you choose not to work, or when you retire.
So if I choose not to work, what happens with my insurance policy?
If your insurance policy is it's just like everything in life. If you choose not to work, that means you're either financially stable, you're financially secured, so you have enough money that you could afford to do the things in life that you want to.
Okay, maybe what I wanted to ask you is, suppose I have a life insurance policy,
Yes.
and then I got incapacitated and could not. What happens to my policy?
That's a very good question. Some of the policies would have an extra benefit, where if you're disabled or if you're dismembered, there's some funds that could be paid out to you if you were dismembered, losing a limb or losing your eyesight. Once you have that added benefit, if you're totally disabled and you're no longer able to work for some reason, once you have there's a benefit in the policy as well too, where the company, the life insurance company, could actually pay for the insurance so you don't lose that coverage.
Okay,
Yeah?
yeah.
So there are certain things that you will put in place in a life insurance. Just like if you have a car, you would determine if you want to put AC in your car. If you're in the Caribbean, it would be a very good idea to put AC in your car. If you're living in North America or in Canada, you might decide, I don't need AC. It's always cool. Or it's very cold. You might need a heater.
Okay.
So there are things that you put in place when you're looking at your responsibilities, when you're looking at your goals in the future.
Right, so I need to have my goals in check. What
Yes.
else do I need to?
You need to have your goals in check. You need to know what your responsibilities are. You need to know what your financial responsibilities would be now, in the midterm, and in the long term. In the
Okay,
future.
you mentioned something about endowment plan.
Yes.
Yes. So my endowment, I could what? How does that run?
Well, endowment works similarly just to the life insurance. Some people buy life insurance for protection for their family. Some people buy it for security for their home, or starting
send
a
the
new
children to
business,
school.
or sending his children to school, to university. You can use an endowment policy the similar way. The difference with an endowment policy and a life insurance and a whole life insurance policy is that the endowment is up to a certain period of time. So you could have an endowment for 25 years, or you could have an endowment up to age 65.
Okay.
It works the same way as a life
You
insurance
get the
policy.
lump sum, or you have it.
So with the endowment, it works the same way for a life insurance policy during that time. So if, God forbid, you die 2 days after getting out your life insurance policy, the full sum assured is paid to your beneficiaries.
It's paid my beneficiary.
Yes. If you live up to the maturity time of the endowment policy, the full amount is paid to you.
Wonderful.
So you can use it for a mortgage as well too. If you have a mortgage and you could financially afford an endowment to cover the security for the mortgage, you could have it that way.
Yeah, that's important, getting to get a home or get a mortgage, because I noticed that loads of persons are trying now to get homes, and maybe they need to ensure that they have a life insurance policy.
One of the benefits I will say that really worked for me in my place is with life insurance. I took my life insurance just like a couple months after starting to work. And the benefit with that is that I was young. I was able to pay very low premiums. By the time I was ready to buy my home, I was able to borrow some cash values from my life insurance policy to put down to pay some deposit as well as the legal fees.
Okay.
So there are benefits once you do things early as opposed to waiting too late.
Kweku, it's really great chatting with you. Time is always running out when we are having such a great discussion. But please note that it's best to start getting your policy, getting your goals, all of that in tune when you're young. When you're young, you have greater benefits.
That's correct.
But just make sure that you take out your life insurance policy, okay? And the one thing that keeps us all going, God, make sure you have that relationship. Thank you so much.
All right, I will talk to you later. And you keep safe here. A beat coming through. All right. Hello, Mavis Raffin speaking.
Mavis, this is Giggard.
Giggard? Well, what highway blow you my side? I ain't here or see you for a long time.
See me, Mavis? But you ain't hear the medical people and the Prime Minister telling you elderly people like we to stay home for be safety. Huh?
True.
Well, I stand at home here relaxing in my yard for mine, telling you. But why call you about the same COVID thing too, because I get the impression that you got this thing covered. What happened is this. Mountain called me last night and tell me that he feel that he get exposed to COVID because he got sore throat, fever, coughing and sneezing, headache, can't smell or taste nothing, and he got shortness of breath. But he frightened to go and get the test. So you know what he doing? He treating himself with home remedies. You can believe that?
Well, all you need a doctor. But from what the people say the signs of COVID-19 is, he sounds like he got it. He should go and seek medical attention immediately.
But from what you've been hearing, from what you telling me, Mavis, you can't play around with this COVID.
No, you can't play with COVID. They also say that you should not stay home and self-diagnose yourself and treat yourself with these home remedies, you know. They say if you experience the signs of COVID-19, run fast and seek medical attention immediately, especially if you got pre-existing conditions, because it could be a matter of life or death. The people say that some people coming to seek medical attention too late.
Well, I can keep myself safe by following all the COVID-19 protocols. I ain't playing around with this thing at all, especially if I notice any symptoms. Look, I can call Mountain now and tell you to go and get checked right away. As the old people say, Mavis, a stitch in time, the save 9.
Giggard, you got that right here?
Look, I gone here. Keep yourself safe.
I can talk to you later, and you try and keep safe too. All right, bye.
The continued fight against COVID-19 requires the continued practice of public health measures across all sectors and in every community. Frequent and proper hand washing, wearing face masks, and physical distancing. Do you know who is not physical distancing? The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Let's avoid overloading our healthcare systems. This means simultaneously protecting yourselves and your loved ones from all disease, including mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever, Zika, and chikungunya viruses. Did you know that dengue is the most common mosquito-borne viral disease in the world? So let's get to work. Use window and door screens to keep mosquitoes out. Change the water in vases and scrub inside surfaces to remove mosquito eggs. Avoid using saucers with potted plants to prevent collection of water. Securely cover water barrels and drums with mosquito netting and properly fitted covers. Scrub the inside walls of water barrels and drums with detergent 1 to 2 times per week. Walk around the outside of your home and remove or overturn containers that can collect water and become breeding sites. Mosquitoes only need a small amount of water to lay their eggs. Remove unwanted cans, bottles, buckets, or used tires. Other items still in use must be properly stored in covered areas to avoid water settling in them. Clean roof gutters and air conditioner trays. Debushing and removing tall grass from around your home or establishment is also key to reducing mosquito populations. To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases. This message is brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization, Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries.
Welcome, Mikey Mercer.
Yes, please. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. It is so good for you to join me on Candid Conversations.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. And the main reason you are here is because I like to feel special.
Well, you are special.
Well, that is true, yes. Yes, that is true. But imagine my excitement when your music video popped up on my cell phone. And to be honest, I know it wasn't personal to me, but I felt personal. I said, yeah, man, he's my boy. He's one big happy family. But I played it, and it was so fantastic. So I want you to just tell us what was the inspiration, what led to peace.
We were under lockdown, right? For a little while, and I would have imagined that it took a mental toll on a lot of people, a spiritual toll on a lot of people, an emotional toll on a lot of people, right? As it did on me, right? So as soon as it started to reopen a little bit, I passed by the gym to drop off some equipment, right? And the lady at the front desk was playing a gospel playlist, and I heard this song, Jehovah Knows, that I have not heard since I was a little boy.
That song that old?
It's older than that.
It's older than that, okay.
Right? And I was like, I used to love this song, but I have not heard it in such a long time. So I asked, I said, send me that link, because I really, really like that song. So when I got home, I played the song over and over and over, and I felt a feeling of calm, right? Of a sense of everything will be all right, right? Because the message in the song, right? It says, peace when trouble blows, Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows, right? And meditating on the song and really internalizing the song, I felt so at peace, right? And I was like, I could only imagine there are a lot of people that are feeling like me during this lockdown. Maybe I should do my own version of this, right? I was like, oh, that's kind of wild, just throw it out there. But I said, no, I really think it would be interesting even if it's just a personal project for me, and I may not necessarily go release it. So I could, so I have this song here, and so it could resonate a kind of way. So I reached out to Chris Allman, Slam City Studios. Chris was like, yeah, buddy, I offer this. Let me do it, right?
Yes.
Because I wanted to do it like a acapella, because I'm into acapella and stuff. So I was in G Syndicate for about 10 years. And I wanted to do something a little acapella-esque, right? And so I reached out to John Yard, Pastor John Yard, because I'm a big fan of his. We work together with the gym and some other stuff, right?
So the gym is what, exercise? You mean?
Yes, okay. A gym called Basa Basa. So I reached out to John. I said, man, I want a little help, a little guidance on how I should execute this. And he told me, all right, well, check this youngster named Yomi, where the vocal arrangement is concerned. And after he told me that, I said, well, how you would feel about being on the project with me? And he said, well, send me the song, because he didn't know what song it was. He said, send me the song, and I can get back to you shortly. Within minutes, John called me back. Yes, buddy, for sure. I am definitely on board with this.
Okay.
So
you sent him the playlist.
I sent him the song. That's the link for YouTube link,
okay.
right? And then I met with Yomi. We worked out the vocal arrangement and stuff. We went by Chris, and because it was mainly me, right? And then Yomi filling some of the harmonies. I really had a real good time with this bass, though.
Man, it looks so.
Yeah, I really had a good time. But then when John came in, John took it to a whole new level, because John is a fantastic vocalist, right? And even after that, when we were finished and we were shooting the video and everything, John was like, Mikey, this song has touched me. And this is the raw version that we had, right? He said, buddy, this song lifted my spirits in a way, and I truly hope that we could touch people and lift their spirits as well. And when we were finished, we mixed the master and everything. When we finished, we were like, yeah, boy, this one is special about this one, right? And the response so far has been amazing, amazing. We were getting so many messages saying about, again, how it lifted spirits. They've been going through a lot of stuff, and this song was so timely. This is what the world needs, you understand? And I'm just thankful that it's touching people in a positive way.
Okay, so COVID really was a bomber.
Yeah.
Knock out a lot of people. But being knocked out, we are not crushed.
No, not
so
at all.
this peace song brought that back for you.
Yes.
And you decided to share it with a big, happy family.
Correct. Yeah, man, because every dark cloud is a silver lining, right?
Every dark cloud comes with silver lining. So. I mean, honestly, I watch it over and over again. I am familiar with it. I try to pull it up here and up on my phone. And I hope I don't have any interference, because I'm not technologically savvy, but I see here.
Right.
See when any song room here.
Yeah.
Okay. But oh yes, in comes Chris. And so you think I can have some volume on this? No?
Possibly.
But you said a cappella, right?
Yeah. Right, and you see it starts with a prayer. John did a prayer at the beginning. All right, so that's myself, that's stacking, that's layering the vocals and such. Yeah. And we use this point to showcase the bass. Yeah.
I like that too,
Right? So it just a different side, a completely different side. I would say Mikey. Right?
Yes, a completely different side of Mikey.
Because go ahead.
So as it seemed as though you had no choice but to show this side of you.
Well, I believe, once again, everything happens for a reason. Anyone who knows me and anyone who follows me knows I tell anybody, I'm far from perfect, right? But I have my personal relationship with God. Even I go to church when I can. When I can't go to church, I say my prayers daily. Before every performance, I pray. After every performance, I pray. Before competition, they make sure to go to church, get me blessed for your church and everything.
Ma, are you serious?
Yeah,
you use the church and all of that before you get into what? Bashment soccer?
Yeah, but it's not bashment soccer, just soccer.
Soccer,
right?
Okay.
And I could comfortably say I generally don't sing lewd lyrics. All right? I encourage people to enjoy themselves within reason. All right?
Yes.
But that's just me.
That's just you.
It's just me.
Well, I like all of you. I like all of you. But so can we expect more of this?
What I will say, again, one of the pluses coming out of COVID is that obviously because we've been locked down, touring has been shut down for a little while.
Oh yes,
so
you would have been overseas.
I would be overseas. Oh no, I wouldn't be here at all. But I said, all right, but during this time now, I could actually be able to do some projects I wanted to do for a little while. So like I haven't done a Christmas recording since 2004.
2004.
That's 16 years ago, right?
Okay.
But you can look up for one, look up for two.
Look up for two, yes.
Two for sure, right? And some different things as well. We're just doing obviously a lot more stuff with the charity, with my charity work team, Mikey Charity and such. So
there's a Mikey Charity?
The team Mikey Charity, yes. We do, we work a lot with children.
Okay.
Right? Children's homes, we go to schools. We do work with senior citizens as well. We like do food hampers and such. We do scholarships for the children, I think. I think giving back is really, really important.
Yes, so there's a whole lot more to Mikey. You
that
really is one big happy family. One big happy family reaching out and touching lives, not only with the soca music, but
Correct.
with the spiritual aspect, the religion.
Correct.
It is important.
It is.
He says, not me, you heard him. He prays before he goes to his competition. He goes to get the blessing and all of that. I don't know why we don't. This is all part of our culture, okay? Rhythmic music. And we know where the source comes from, huh?
It's true.
The source is God.
It's true. Purely a vessel.
Pardon?
I'm purely a vessel.
You are purely a vessel, yes. Yes, this is a lovely vessel here. There is, yes, there's a treasure in this earthen vessel. The treasure that thrills, bring music to our ears, soothe our hearts, lift our spirits, so that we can realize that there is light always at the end of the tunnel, because Jehovah knows. Yes, he sees. He knows.
He hears everything.
He cares.
It's
And
true.
he gives us that peace.
All the time.
Mikey, it's so good talking to you in life and color, man. Candid conversation.
Yeah, man.
So listen, I could call you anytime because you know it, you on my dial.
Yeah,
you might get fed
you
up
got
with
the
me, but
you got the direct
a
link.
direct line. Okay, but it's really a pleasure. And it's great that you have friends who readily come to, well, I wouldn't say your assistants, but you're on the same page.
Yeah.
So I want to thank those guys, Chris Allman, John
Yard,
Yard,
Yomi.
Pastor John Yard, and
Yeah,
Yomi.
Yomi, yeah.
Yes, his vocal.
Fantastic.
It was exceptional. Y'all really produced a good video.
Yeah, man. Check it out.
Check it out. And we shall stay tuned for everything else that comes from this young man here, Mikey Mercer. And you know my song. We is one big happy family on Candid Conversations as well. Thank you.
Or even what their situations tell them, and that true thing would be your plan, be your will, and that we would learn to trust you in it. So just thank you for Mikey for being obedient to create this cover. Thank you for Yomi's creativity. Thank you for Chris's space and for his insight, God, and for his wisdom in putting everything together. And just thank you, God, for the opportunity to be a part of this. We just bless you. I really, really pray that it does for other people what it has done for me and for us in this room. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Wow.
Oh, I will worship the Lord, for he is worthy. I will lay down my sword, the Prince of Peace is his name. King of the flood, the Lord is mighty. The Lord can quench the evil flame. Peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. He is my peace when sorrow nears. Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Feel the presence of God upon the water. Yeah. Hear the voice of the Lord within the thunder that Lord can calm the troubled soul. And peace when troubles blows. Jehovah sees, yeah, Jehovah knows. He is my peace, yeah, when sorrow nears. Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Like the breath I need to live. Jehovah takes, Jehovah gives. He gives me peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. I'm so confident to know that you see me, you hear me, and you know. Yeah. It's reassuring just to know that you will keep me in safety, you know. Yeah. Judgment coming, He is my peace. Man pursue me, yeah, He is my peace. Judgment is coming, He is my peace. Why me follow? But I know. When trouble blows, Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. He is my peace. When sorrow nears, Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Like the breath I need to live. Jehovah takes, Jehovah gives. You give me peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows. You give me peace when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows.
We're back, Candid Conversations. And for our roundtable discussion, we will be talking about marriage and keeping the spark alive. Joining me in this discussion is Dr. Denise J. Charles and Janelle and Billboard Morel. So good to have you. Now, wonderful. Now, as a minister of religion, one of the ministries that I love to do is to perform weddings. I love to hear, or I love when the couple repeat, and I always say to them, no, don't listen, don't look at me, listen and repeat. So then we go the part which says, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer and poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish for the rest of our lives, according to God's holy law. I just love that. I don't know if that's just talk. What do you think? And I'm asking you that because I want to know, after the glitz and the glamour of the wedding day, what should a newly wed couple know? And of course, I'm speaking to you because I believe you have loads of experience. Who's going to go first?
We will defer to
Dr.
Charles.
Dr. Charles.
What does a new couple, what should a new couple know?
Yes.
I think actually it is not as prescriptive as that. I think what a new couple should know is dependent on where that couple is when they get married, what knowledge sets they already have, what experience they already have. Through my experience with counseling couples, my husband and I both prepare people for marriage. we recognize that we come face to face with different types of couples. So there are couples who have lived together. There are couples who are new and virginal, who've never had sex. There are couples who've been having sex for a long time. There are couples who know each other really well, who might have been together for a long time. So based on the age of the couple, based on their experiences and even their perspective of marriage, I think that that impacts what the couple will need to know or do in those first few months and years of marriage. But generally speaking, to be general, I think that couples need to have an understanding of what marriage means and of why they wanted to get married, because I think the reason for marriage, the motivation for marriage, is a big part of how you're going to end up negotiating that relationship.
Okay.
Yeah? Understanding why you got married and understanding what marriage is. Very, very critical.
Very important.
Yeah.
Billboard, I see you shaking your head in agreement. Why are you shaking your head?
Yeah, I fully agree, because the stage you're at as a couple really makes a difference. Because I'm looking back now, this is 20 years, 20 years that we've been married.
So you got married at 5?
No. No. I was 22 and Janelle was 19, 20.
20, yeah.
Right? And I'll be honest, I would marry Janelle again.
Thank you.
Right? But I would not have gotten married at 22. I do not think we were prepared enough to get married. We wanted to get married. We actually started marriage counseling, and almost in the middle of counseling, the couple that was counseling us, the spouse died, the lady died.
Oh.
And I could not go for a man that his wife just died to continue counseling. So we never went back to counseling. We got married. And there's a lot of things that we didn't know. There's a lot of things that we didn't know. And so I wouldn't say no that we should not have gotten married, but I probably would not have. But if we had some persons to help us navigate those first couple months, 6 months, a year, or whatever the case may be, as opposed to fending on our own, we got married at 22. Child number 1 at 23, child number 2 at 24. It was like, so I was just living in my parents' house, sleeping all day long. And in tutus, I was a family man living on my own with 2 kids, and it was like, oh my God, what is this?
What happened?
Right? So it is very important. The counseling is really important. But I would tell any person to get married. I would tell any person to get married. But what I would like to add, first and foremost, is because marriage is an institution ordained by God, you really have to have God at the center of the marriage. I mean, persons may say, yes, people have been married for 50 years that aren't Christians, okay. But you can't be married for 50 years and don't employ godly principles.
You're right.
Can't. Even if you're not a Christian, you have to employ some kind of, you have to employ godly
principles.
Yes, please.
Billboard was saying that there were some things that he really wanted to know that
we didn't know.
That you didn't know.
Yeah, my wife concur. So food used to taste real bad, but I used to eat it because
wait,
I was in love.
Oh, you was in love.
I was in love. I used
So
to eat
the
it.
food-
I wish she threw out the dog, we refuse it. But I would eat it because I was in love.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we're being candid, right?
Yes, we are very candid.
Right.
Tell me
So,
something.
Billboard is absolutely true. So I was 20 years old, and I was not prepared. I had not, all I know is that I wanted to get married to him. I was thinking about the good parts of marriage, the sex, but I was not thinking about having to clean a house, having to manage things. I wasn't thinking about the cooking at all, because when the reality hit me that I had to cook, for many years my food did not taste good. I remember there was one time I cooked a pie. The dog didn't even eat my pie.
Oh my word.
But my husband did. But as both of the panelists said, there were just so many things that we did not know, that had we been prepared before, I would have had time to seriously think about what I was getting involved in. I was only thinking about the glitz and the glamour. I wasn't thinking about the life after, the reality after. It only hit me when I was in that house alone, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? But I was already married.
I think our experience was entirely different, because even though I was also young, I was 19 when I got married. My husband was 27. And actually, I didn't think of the glitz and glamour at all. I was very much in love, and I just wanted to spend my life with this man. I just wanted to be with him. We didn't have everything when we got married. We did not have a refrigerator. We did not have a dinette set. We had a bed, which was very important. And we had a living room suite and a stove because we needed to eat, right? But there are a lot of things that we didn't have. We were in a small apartment. We didn't get to honeymoon traditionally. Our honeymoon was in our very apartment. We sat on the floor and we ate, and we were so happy, you know. But what I can say is that I think I prepared myself because we got married in an era when there was no marriage counseling. That wasn't very popular. We were married for 36 years this year, right? So we've been married for a long time, right? But in that time, marriage counseling wasn't popular. You told the pastor you wanted to get married, he prayed for you, and that was it, right? But what I did, I read a lot. I was always a voracious reader. I read a lot, read lots of books about marriage. My husband also read. So we were prepared to some element in terms of our preparing ourselves. But obviously we still had to negotiate the experience. Living with someone and just loving them and then having to live with them was shocking, I would say. You know, there were times when we quarreled about the slightest thing.
Yes,
I always
no
talk
conflicts.
about the macaroni that I threw across the room and it slid down the wall. I always tell people about that, throwing that plate at him. And then cleaning up the whole house afterwards because I wanted to get myself back into that space. But what I can say, and I do agree with Billboard, is that God was at the center of our marriage from the get-go, even though we didn't know a lot. And because we loved God, that was the mitigating factor. That has been the mitigating factor in our marriage's success. And I say that to anyone.
Right. So God must be center. He
Yes.
must be the third strand. Not your mother-in-law
No.
or the father-in-law.
No.
Not the friends.
No.
No.
No? And everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Yes, it must be God.
Yes.
Yes.
God.
With God,
At
all
the
things
center.
are possible.
That's right.
With God, you were able to eat the food that didn't taste good, that the dog refused. And you were able to, the macaroni pie seems to be very popular.
Yeah, that was a go-to meal.
That was a go-to.
That was a
Yes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Candid Conversations.
Hello?
Hi, Grace Me.
Hey, Cheryl. Girl, I can't talk to you right now. I'm doing my morning exercise.
Babe, since when is your morning exercise so important?
Since the World Health Organization say that people with NCDs are more likely to get real sick if they catch COVID-19.
What?
Yes, you know I'm a diabetic. Plus, I put on a little size. So I got to exercise and use up this little bit of energy that I got to keep my blood sugar under control. Plus, my doctor says that when I exercise, it will help to keep my immune system strong.
Oh, so God forbid, if you ever get COVID, you have a better chance of recovering faster.
Exactly.
Grace, I never told you that I have high blood pressure. I don't even take the medication properly. I looking got to join you in your morning exercise or the line dancing. What do you think?
Yes, and I can send you the same routine that I'm doing here now, girl. It's real sweet.
Oh, cheese on. Babes, I forget my mask home again.
Again?
Man, this COVID-19 thing, got you wearing a mask all the time wherever you go. And I'm accustomed to that. And I always forgetting, you know how many times I had to go back for my mask? Plus, I tired of all this spraying your hands wherever you go. Man, it drained out my hands.
Hun, I know the feeling. We are not accustomed to wearing these face masks all the time. So you will forget it. What I do is that I keep a reserve face mask in the car so that if I leave home without it, that I always have one. You will look, because I have one right here in the cubby hole. Here you go.
Babes, you just always save the day, you know. But I ain't gotta do like you. I ain't gotta keep a reserve mask in my car too.
It works. And don't fret too much about all the hand spraying, you know. This is to help keep you and I safe and all of we safe. We will adjust to it. I'm glad the people strict with his hands spraying, wearing the face mask, and the physical distancing too. We have to keep following the protocols. We can't afford to let our guards down now. We got this.
You're right. All right, I can't back there now, all right?
No problem.
All of these years together, I imagine, because I just heard through the lines about conflict.
Yes.
Conflict, and we have conflict, and very often when there's conflict, you want to separate. You want to say, listen, me, I'm going home.
Yes.
So how do we avoid conflict? Happens, that's a given.
It does.
So can we avoid conflict, or should we avoid? Can we
I don't
avoid
think we
separation?
should try to avoid conflict.
I can.
No, I don't think you should try.
Right.
You know, conflict is a
Navigate.
necessary part of life. I don't want to be married to myself. I don't want to be married to someone who does everything that I do or believes everything that I believe necessarily or has my opinion on everything. And one thing I've always said to my husband, I'm my own person, I'm my own woman. I will have thoughts that are different to yours. You know, it doesn't mean that we can't be together, or even though we have differences of opinion. So conflict will happen, but it's how you manage it.
Right.
It's how you negotiate that conflict.
Management is
the
important.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we manage the conflict? What do we do?
I'm always right, and I'm always right.
And
I
she's
just
always
love
right.
it.
And she's always right.
Okay. So if I can go here.
Yes, please.
I did not always manage conflict well, okay? Because in those early years of marriage, we had some fights, but not my husband being the aggressor. I was the aggressor. So
Never.
Of course. So I would flip from being very quiet, and my specialty, oh gosh, my specialty was headbutting.
You used to watch wrestling?
No, it just was how I just expressed myself like that. But we had some crazy times. It wasn't a lot of talking. I think my husband always was a talker, but I was always, I can get something, I need to throw something. I remember one time, we had such a bad encounter. We were driving along. It was right there on Sergeant's Village. And we had a big fight in that car. I was hitting him. He was saying, Janelle, stop. I was hitting him. And then he decided that he was going to get out of the car because it was slow traffic. He decided he was going to get out of the car, open my side, grab me by the hands, throw me in the bush. And I decided I was not having it. So when he got out, threw me in the bush, I ran up alongside the car, and I jumped through the window, psh, and my skirt was up, all of my underwear was out, but I was adamant, because that was the way that I used to handle conflict with him in times past. Now things have changed years after, but in those early years, it was me stabbing tires with butter knives, throwing irons.
You like a lot of drama.
Pardon?
Well, everybody thinking it's me because, you know, the man get all the blame.
Well,
Everybody think it was me.
relationships are different. You know, you
Right.
said that, she said that you were the talker, and she
Right.
wasn't.
Right.
In our relationship,
Right.
and still today, well, I think we both do talk quite a bit now.
No.
But in those early years, I did all the talking, and my husband did a lot of listening. He did talk at times as well, but not as much as I did. And the thing about me was that whenever there was an issue or a problem, I wanted it solved, and I wanted it solved now.
Now.
Wow.
Because I came from a broken
Sounds
home.
familiar.
So I had a lot of insecurities about my relationship. So I didn't want to have my marriage broken the way my parents' marriage had been broken. So if there was an issue or a challenge, my thing was, let me get this fixed now before my marriage gets broken. You understand? So I panicked, and I wanted it resolved. I wanted it resolved right now. I would quote that scripture, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. I would wake up the poor man at 2 and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning for us to have that discussion. And he had to go to work for 6:30. So I was totally inconsiderate.
Totally.
I was very much a nag.
Very, very much.
Right, but what my husband, what he did, he stonewalled a lot. He got silent, he got quiet, he didn't speak to me, sometimes for days. But I think through the years, we have both grown. You know, I have learned to wait. I have learned to choose the time when we should have a discussion. And I've become a lot more patient.
I want you to repeat that. You've learned to wait.
I've learned to wait, to choose the time when to
choose the time,
when to have a discussion.
when to
I've
have a
become
discussion.
lot more
Could you repeat
patient.
that again? Last part?
I've chosen to wait. I've learned to choose the time, right?
I've learned to trust in Jesus. Thank
That
you,
too.
Billboard.
That
Yes,
too.
please.
That deserves a
Learn
round
to
of
wait.
applause.
Not to panic, not to think the whole world is going to fall apart because we've had a disagreement. You know, to learn to put it in context, to learn to trust the process and to trust our love. You know, I learned to trust our love.
Trust our love.
To trust our love, and that we would be able to work it out. And I think that empowered us both. And we've come an extremely long way. My husband, you know, he gets into discussions with me. We don't have those types of arguments anymore. We still disagree from time to time.
You mellow.
Yeah,
You've
but
mellowed.
we've been able to put things in perspective, and we listen a lot more to each other's point of view, even if it is different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important. You got to appreciate that person is not you. They're not going to think like you. They're not going to be you. The two become one. The two don't turn into the same person.
Okay,
That's
they
different.
become one.
They
They
become one, but
don't turn into the same person.
Right.
So you don't marry someone because you want to change them.
No.
Okay, that's very important.
We're not Jesus.
Okay,
Leave that to
definitely,
him.
yes. You become one,
Yes.
but you don't
not turn into that person.
Yes, so this person doesn't have to like your music.
No, not necessarily. I mean, it helps when you have those similarities.
helps, yes.
But my husband and I are two totally different persons. You know, he's the out there person. He loves sports. He's very physical. You know, he loves that type of thing. You know, I have become more extroverted, but I am also an introvert because I'm a writer and I'm a thinker. So I love quiet spaces and I love to be alone and to introspect and so on. But I can also go to a cricket match. You know, I leave him to watch cricket and I watch what I want to watch, you know, but yet we do things together. We watch the ocean. There are things we love to do together. So you have to find that balance.
You have to, finding the balance is critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
And staying together.
And staying together.
Staying together is critical. I find a lot of couples give up.
Yeah.
Give up easily.
Yeah.
Or give up too quickly. No, there's a difference between staying in a marriage that sucks for 40 years, but I mean, after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you stay in the marriage actively trying to work on it. I'm not just talking about staying in the marriage as in staying in the same house, but you have to be actively working on you and actively working on the marriage. And some things that used to be a problem will not be a problem after. Well, you may realize it's not really a big thing. After 20 years, I still can't get my wife start squeezing toothpaste for the middle, but I mean, you know, that's small. That was a small 20 years ago, right? The little.
How long have you been married now?
20 years.
20 years.
Yes, please.
Okay, with 20 and 20.
20 and 36.
20 and 36.
Yes,
awesome.
please.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to actively work at it, right? Yeah, actively work at it.
Okay, there's one other thing that we all alluded to, and this was the sex. Is that important? What is that? That is number one. That is icing on the cake. We could do without that.
Very much so. No, can't do without it.
I don't think so. I don't think we can do without sex in a relationship. And people talk about it, and you know, people say that, for those who don't know, I've written a book called How to Have Mind-Blowing Sex Without Losing Your Brain. And yes, and it's because I think that's
how to have mind-blowing
sex without losing your
brain.
Yeah.
By Dr. Denise J. Charles.
Yeah.
Just look for that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
you know, I just want to say that, and I wrote that book because I wanted people to connect with the purpose for sex, the design for sex, and to also learn how to enjoy their sexual lives with their partner. And I think that even though people would argue and say, but you know, as you get older, you lose interest in sex, or a man may not be able to get it up, and so they say.
I'll address that when we
briefly, because we're wrapping up.
Yeah, okay, at the end of the day, I think you have to sexualize your relationship. You don't live with a platonic friend. You're not living with a cousin. You're living with a husband or you're living with a wife. So your relationship has to be dynamically different, and the sex is what adds that difference. And sex, for me, is not always straight up sex. Yes, straight up sex is great, but I like to think about sexualizing the relationship. All the touching, all the hot things you want to say to your partner in private, you know, texting them sexy things during the day. All of that is adding to the sexual dynamics in a relationship.
Okay.
As my pastor would say, you know, the things that you do in the day, you know, it's preparation. Things you do in preparation. You don't just turn up and cook in the evening, you know, you prepare, right? So I believe in preparation, and our sex now after 20 years is way better than it was then. It was experimental. Then we figured out you're still learning the person, but no is a greater expression of love. But I remember, I want to touch on this, there about 3 years, about 3 years ago, I actually was diagnosed as diabetic, and at the point in time, we had a brief time where it just won't come up, and the thing went to my head. I thought I was going mad. I was immediately never had sex again, right? But thank God there's a God.
There's a God.
There's a God. That's a good point.
You're
There's a
going
God.
to close on this. Yes, you're going to have the last word.
I agree that sex is important. I may not have always thought so along the lines, but it is important. And dependent on what the quality of your relationship is, you are able to stay in the marriage, and you can look past things like what my husband just described until God restores again.
Until God restores again. God is always center of any relationship.
That's right.
That is important.
Even the sex.
Even the sex.
That's right.
And I want to thank the three of you for coming to share with us on this candid conversation. It's really exciting. Sorry we didn't have more time.
Thank you.
But please remember that God must always be central in your relationship. Without him, we are totally lost. And he is involved in every aspect of our life. The food cooking, the sexual relationship, all of that is necessary and important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.